Hi, welcome back to Cutting and Cooking with Pops. Today we're going to do oxtail. Seems like a trend nowadays. People are trying it more and more. I grew up on it, Filipino side. My dad always made it. Pops. He had a few different recipes. I have a few different recipes. There are a few things you could do with this. Today we're going to be cooking it in the Dutch oven. Not that hard. Falls off the bone. Eats like a chuck roast or a short rib actually. Once you get into it and that meat's falling off the bone, you cook it just right. All right, let's get into it. All right, this is how we get them in the box. They're already. There's 3 tails in here. I'll show you how to cut one. So that's a tail. There's a little bit more piece. No meat on it though. There's a little bit piece that comes more to a point usually. It's not actual ox. I know it's called oxtail, but it's not an ox. And we'll usually trim off this fat. We'll get some smaller pieces in there, along with some bigger pieces. See some guys on the internet, their videos, cutting this on the saw, but you really don't need a saw if you know how to cut in between the joints actually. Do something with this fat later. Sometimes, not all the time, that joint is a little hard to find, or there's a little more piece of bone that should be there. That's what you get out of the tail, this right here. Some big pieces and some smaller pieces. All right, you want to see one way to cook these? Stay tuned. Let's do it. All right, we season those up, let them sit, let that meat sweat for a little bit. Today we use the smoky roasted garlic and onion seasoning. This is a good seasoning right here. Has some garlic and onion, obviously, maybe a little smoky flavor to it. Some sugars in there. We're going to be putting some granulated garlic on there because it's already salted enough. We want to give it a little bit more garlic flavor. Minced garlic in there, chop up your own garlic, put it in. But today we're going to be using this granulated garlic. Going to get this going. We're going to use this Scott's. You know I like this garlic oil right here. Infused garlic oil. All right, we're going to put this Dutch oven, we're going to put it on sear and then start. It's already nice and hot right now, but normally you got to wait for it to get hot. And then we're going to sear them. Seal in this flavor right here. Try to get it on all sides. Even roll them on their side. All those are in there. Searing usually takes about 15 minutes, somewhere in there. Want to make sure all those are touching the bottom real nice, as much of the surface as you can. Put a lid on it, let it get a little hot. All right, they've been in here about 10 minutes, looking nice and brown all the way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out, put them in here, put them back in this bowl, and then I'm going to deglaze. Let all this, I'm gonna put these onions back in, let it deglaze everything that's out the bottom of this pan. And we gotta switch it to braise. Press start. A little bit of water to help deglaze that. Let all these onions sweat. There it goes. So those onions help deglaze that bottom. Got all that seasoning up off the bottom. Now we can put them back in. And I like to spread the onions along the top as I'm putting them back in. Now to add a little bit more garlic flavor to that, some granulated garlic, give it more flavor. There's not salt in there. It's not garlic salt, so have at it. And then the Scott's Bordelaise sauce. It's like a steak marinade. This stuff goes good on burgers too. You mix it in with burgers, not too much. So we're gonna add that in there for some more flavor and a little bit more water. Now after a couple hours, about an hour, it'll start making its own juice. We'll see what we're talking about in a little bit. All right, after about 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours in that Dutch oven, we've got some rice. Everything goes good with rice. Let's see how these came out. There goes one. Get this nice big boy right here. We'll scoop some sauce in there too. Matter of fact, let me grab a spoon. There's some of that sauce in there. Those onions reduced to nothing really. It's hot right now, but get a close up of this. See how it's just coming off that bone right there. If you want to see what an oxtail bone looks like, that's it right there. Kind of like a star shape. That's what the bone should look like when it's coming off the bone like that. Gotta wait a minute to take a bite. All right, we got some rice, some of that juice on there. Let's fall apart. Really just kind of melts in your mouth. So you saw what we did. Minus you guys cutting it at home. Just put it in a crock pot, sear it up, put some seasoning, whatever you want, make it your own. Let that cook. You can put it in a crock pot, Dutch oven. Some people do it in the oven. Some people smoke it, but this is just one way I wanted to show you guys so you guys can give this a try. Some oxtail. It's not that hard. Some people are scared to try to make it. So right now, it's time to eat. Got some people to feed. Thanks for tuning in and cooking with Pops. Hit that subscribe button. One love. Don't forget to now I'm off.